Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Stefan, and in this video I want to show you how to play Kabalevsky's opus 39 number 17, Popular Dance. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and if you like what you see, give a thumbs up. So a couple of words about the book. Kabalevsky's opus 39 is a perfect little stylistic technique book for beginners from before grade 1 to around grade 1, grade 2. And number 17 is what we're going to have a look at today in this video. What you could hear from my performance already is that it's a very, very bouncy kind of upbeat little technical exercise, and if you have good ears and you could pick up, you can see that the melody goes in thirds all the way through, or an octave and a third, which is going to be the biggest challenge. So the piece is in D major and it has two sharps, F sharp and C sharp, so every F and every C is going to be sharp. It's in 2/4, so 2 crotchet quarter note beats in every bar, but all we have is quavers with a couple of semiquavers or 16th notes, and the tempo says vivo, which is lively. So the main sentence starts in the left hand, and as you can see, it's in the D major position. That's the first sentence, and that's left hand only, and it says mark or marcato, which means in a marching style. So this is what we call finger staccato, which is very, very light staccatos coming from the fingertips, not really from the arm. The arm is not doing too much motion. It's more like flicking the notes. Like when you touch something really hot, like a stove, and you want to grab your hand away from it. So that's what finger staccato feels like, and that's what should happen in this piece on every single note, because they're all staccatos. Now, obviously, when you start learning the notes, you can go legato or detached. And then once you know the finger numbers and the notes, you can go staccato. Now, the piece has a lot of very awkward finger positions. Like, for example, when you play with 5/4/3, around that F sharp is quite difficult to do, and the hand wants to slip off, and it's very difficult to control those fingers, but that's why the exercise is very good, because it gives you a training for the outer weak fingers to do a little bit of independence work on those little scales and intervals. So that was the first sentence, and the second sentence, the right hand joins in, but it's going to be an octave and a third apart. So left hand starts number 1 on the F sharp and right hand 5 on the A. So if I move the A down, you can see it's 3 notes away, so it's going to be in thirds plus an octave. Now let's see the left hand first, starting 1 on the F sharp. So identical to the first phrase, but this time it's in B minor, and the first sentence was in D major. Now, as you can see, there are quite a few position changes when you move your thumb up and down or the lower fingers to adjust to the new position, but follow the finger numbers in the book. It's really good and very helpful. Right hand, the same melody, but starting on the A. Again, 1, 2, 3, and instead of putting 4, you're going to put 5. And together. Now, key thing here is when you play hands together, to make sure the two hands always go down perfectly together. So clarity, not just in one hand, but between the two hands, is really important. So if you hear things like this, then you have to stop and slowly and after that we have a new rhythm. We have semiquavers, a 16th notes, which goes So it's a legato going in, and then there is a tie. So ti-ti-ta, ta, ti-ti-ta, or ti-ri-ti if you want to do the proper one. I usually kind of use titi in a relative form depending on what's my longest note. So 2 semiquavers, and then and the tenuto mark in the end. So the legato kind of rolls into it, holds, and then staccato. Drop, bounce, drop, bounce. And that's again an octave and the third apart. So number 4 on the A, number 2 on the C sharp. And again, you jump from 2-4 to 2-4. And again, the finger number is very awkward, 4-3-2 on the C sharp. It's a little bit difficult. And then going again in thirds. And finishing up the sentence. So holding the right hand. And then the next line, the right hand takes over from the A. And then hands together, left hand A, right hand, again goes a third above to the C sharp. Then back to the C sharp and E. And here in the end we have a rising little motif or sequence, which is the same rhythm all the way through, ti-ti-ta, ti-ti-ta, ti-ti-ta. And you have to shift your hand up, up, number 2 and number 4, so starting on the B and G. So moving up one note at a time, it's a sequence, shifting up the hand, and then finishing on staccato notes. There's an accent mark and staccato. So these rising motifs here, there's no staccato at the end, but you need to lift up to start the new phrase, so it does feel like staccato when it's really fast. And that's basically the whole piece. Now, technically, the biggest difficulty is to keep it very clean, especially the outer fingers. And when you play it an octave and a third apart, it is very hard to get the melody going at the same time, because the hand just wants to play something else, even though it's the exact same motion and the same intervals in both hands, but the sharps appear at different points. So you have to be very careful with that C sharp and F sharp. So clarity is your first thing, keeping the staccatos very clean and even all the way through. So it's 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and, instead of. So needless to say, very even quavers. And finally, you can add some dynamics. So starting loud, and when the in bar 5, the right hand joins in, it goes quiet. And every time we have this little semiquaver or 16th note motion, we have a crescendo getting louder. And so on. And needless to say, when you have a rising melody, you always want to add a bit of crescendo. It's called natural dynamics, and it makes the piece come alive. So that's really all about it. It requires a lot of practice to be able to play it fast, and you can go much faster than what I did, but I think for the purpose of a tutorial, there's no need to go faster, because then you can't even see my hands. But I think that's already quite a good speed, and for beginners, there's no need to go really fast. But again, you can challenge yourself, but clarity, evenness, and fluidity comes first. Don't forget, when you do these staccatos, keep the hand very relaxed, curved fingers, and almost like fluffy clouds. So you don't want any heavy motion and rigidity in your hands. You want it to be very light, very nice and easy looking. If you have any more questions about this piece, leave them in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, subscribe for more.